I know, really. Oh, yeah, you probably.
All right, everyone, welcome to USSA's broadcast of the Border Battle put on up here in beautiful Marianna, Florida. It's a nice cold morning. I'm Doc. I'll be your commentator throughout today. We have 4 games on tap, all 10U games. We'll be covering right here on Field 3 at the Mir Sports Complex here in beautiful Marianna, Florida. Glad you could join us today. And bear with me just a second if you would. I want to make sure you can hear me. There we go. All right, so here we go. So let's go through the lineups real quick. So the first game on tap is going to be Wild Things versus Canes Southeast. Wild Things are in the field. On the mound is William, and behind the plate is going to be Samuel. As a throw goes down, and we're ready to get this thing underway. Leading things off for the Canes Southeast, let's go through the lineup real quick. It's going to be Zion, Jace, Reagan, Brody, Mason, Grayson, Bryson, Miles, Zane, Bo, and Cooper. Leading off again is William. Leading off is Zion. Sorry about that. And now we should be good to go, as Zion will be stepping into the batter's box here in just a minute to get things underway here in the Border Battle. And here's the first pitch from William. It's a ground ball right back to William, fielded cleanly over to first, and that is one away. So one down. That brings in Jace. On deck is Reagan. And here's the pitch. Ball in the dirt. And it's a 1-0 count to Jace. So 1 ball, no strikes. One out. Nobody on. Top of the first inning, just getting underway here in the Border Battle Tournament put on by USSA, broadcast by USSA Sports Network on YouTube and Facebook. And here's the 2-0 pitch from William. Umpire, ball 3. So 3 balls, no strikes. And that's ball 4. So Jace is on with a 4-pitch walk to get things going here in the top of the first. Stepping into the batter's box is going to be Reagan. On deck is Brody. Call strike. There goes Jace, and he's in there safely to second base. So foul ball. That's strike 1. So it's a 1-1 count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. That is Jace at second base. Canes Southeast and Wild Things. Canes are the visitors. There's a pop fly on the shallow right field. That's going to drop in, actually, for a base hit. That's going to move Jace over to third. Throw comes into home. That moves Reagan over to second base. And now runners on second and third with 1 out. So a single for Reagan. Still 1 down. Canes are threatening here in the first. And the pitch. Ball up and outside, and it's 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes. Reagan at second, Jace at third. Brody at the plate, Mason on deck. In the pitch. Foul tip. And it's 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. The cage behind the catcher is not that deep. It'd be interesting to see if anybody does try to take home on a pass ball, but that pass ball would have to really get away, I think, to allow anyone to do that. There's a foul ball, strike 2. It's a 1-2 count. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. This is a beautiful park. Here in Mariana. And the pitch. Ball low, and it's 2-2. So we arrived late last night to get things set up and going, and got to the park here early. And so we'll make sure we broadcast some really nice baseball for everybody. There's a ground ball to second base. That's a hard shot. That's going to get through the right field. That's going to score 1 run. Here comes the second run. Reagan's going to score after Jace, and the Canes lead it 2-0 on a 2 RBI single by Brody. And oops. Ball 1 as Brody goes to second base. So 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Runner on, swing and a miss. I believe it's 1-1. So that is Brody at second after his 2 RBI single drove in Jace and Reagan. Ball just a little bit up, and it's 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. 2 runs across over here in the top of the first inning for the Canes. And the pitch. Ball up. That gets away. And that is ball 3. That allows Brody to go to third. So back-to-back singles after a walk. A quick first out. And then the Canes have poured it on ever since. Mason swinging a miss. And it's a full count. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. Grayson on deck. Canes are threatening a 3rd run. And the pitch. And that's ball 4. So runners on the corners now for the Canes. Still 1 out. That's going to bring in Grayson. With Bryson on deck. And the pitch. Called strike, and that allows Mason to move to second base. So it's an 0-1 count. Runners on second and third. 1 out. And the pitch. Ball off the plate, and it's 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, 2 runs in. Runners at second and third. Grayson at the plate, Bryson on deck, and the pitch from William. Ball up. Samuels behind the plate, and it's 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch. Make that 3-1. Now, should William lose Grayson, he does have a place to put him. He's got a base open. I'm going to try to adjust the picture for y'all just a little bit here in a minute, as it is 3-1. And here's the 3-1 pitch from William. Swing and a miss, and the count is full. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. And And here's the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. And the bases are loaded. So bases loaded. That brings in Bryson. So 3 walks, 2 hits. Canes lead it 2-0 so far. Miles on deck. Ball comes in a little high, and it's 1-0. Now William has nowhere to put Miles, or excuse me, Bryson. And William gets the sign, delivers the 1-0, and it's 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. On first base is Grayson, second base is Mason, third base is Brody. As Jason Reagan scored earlier. Ball high on the 2 RBI single by Brody. So 2-1 count now. 2 balls, 1 strike. And the pitch. And make that 3-1. So 3 balls, 1 strike. Still 1 down. And the 3-1. And that's ball 4, and the Canes lead it 3-0. And the coach is going to call a timeout and go out and talk to his pitcher. Let's see what happens here. We're going to have a pitching change, folks. I'll figure out who that pitcher is as he has a sweatshirt on, so I don't know his number. We'll get that for you. And while we do that, we'll take a quick break. This is Doc on USSSA Sports Network. All right, folks, we're back. So Liam will be now pitching for the Wild Things. As he takes over pitching duties and gets near to completion on his warm-ups. Again, bases loaded. It is Bryson at first, and that was Brody that came in and scored on that walk. Mason at third, Grayson at second, Miles at the plate, Zane on deck. We'll be finishing up here in just a moment. Again, thanks for joining us here on the USSSA Sports Network's broadcast, or simulcast actually. We are also on Facebook and YouTube both. So if you're on there, please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and follow. That helps us grow the channels, to help us bring an enhanced experience for you, to get advertisers and sponsors. Also, make sure you comment, let us know what you think of our broadcasts, and we really appreciate that. All right, here we go. Here's the first pitch. Ball in the dirt. That gets away. Here comes the runner, and he's in there. So that is Mason scoring, making it a 4-0 game leaving runners at second and third with ball one on Miles. That moves Grayson to third and Bryson to second. And the pitch. Ball outside, and it's 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes. Still 1 out. And the pitch. And it's 3-0. Now, Liam does have a place to put Miles, and that would load the bases again with a 3-0 count with Zane on deck. And here's the 3-0 pitch. And it's ball 4. So bases are loaded. So 5 walks issued in this inning, 4 in a row. Loads the bases. It brings in Zane with Bo on deck. And the pitch. Ball inside. And it's 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes. And the 1-0 pitch. Ball off the plate. 2-0. As a third gets back, that allows smart base running by, actually Zion was in pinch running for Grayson, and he scores. And that leaves the runners at first and second with ball 3. And Canes lead at 5-0. So 3 balls, no strikes. And the pitch. Call strike, and it's 3-1. So on that play, the catcher threw down third base as Zion was partway down the line and took advantage of it and scored. So 5-0 now for the Canes. Top of first inning. Strike 2. Liam has found his groove. 2 strikes in a row. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. On Zane, and here's the pitch. There's a pop fly on the infield. Second baseman catches it. Over to the second. Double play. And the Wild Things have gotten themselves out of the inning, but not before giving up 5 runs to the Canes on 2 hits. Left 2 on base. No errors. And left 2 on base. And at the end of half inning, it's the Canes 5, Wild Things 0. Coming up for the Wild Things is going to be William, Justice, and Bradley. We'll go through the rest of the lineup when we come back. This is Doc with the USSSA Sports Network. All right, folks, we're back. I'll explain why we go on mute here in just a second. Pitching on the mound is Grayson. Behind the plate is Reagan. As we get things underway here in the bottom of the first inning, leading things off is William. On deck is Justice. He'll be followed by Bradley, Xander, Samuel, Takiri, Parker, Caleb, Liam, and Crosby. Sub right now is listed as Madden, but we'll see if he comes into the game. All right, here we go. First pitch called strike. And the bottom of the first is underway. So no balls, one strike. And the second pitch, swing and a miss. Strike two. So no 2 count quickly on William. Again, Justice on deck. The reason we go mute is, I'll tell you in just a second after this pitch. Ball low, and it's 1-2. Is so that we don't get any copyright strikes or anything like that against us through YouTube or Facebook, because sometimes they'll block content after the game's broadcast. We'll make sure there's a base hit in the left field, and Williams on with the leadoff single here in the bottom of the first inning. And so William gets things going here for the Wild Things. Justice steps in, Bradley on deck. But because after this live stream's over, you can go back and watch these games as much as you want on Facebook or YouTube. So that's why you should make sure you like, share, subscribe. Here's the pitch home. Ball high. That's 1-0. It's a pitch home, ball outside. William takes second base easily. So it's a 2-0 count now to Justice. Again, Bradley on deck. William at second after the leadoff single in the left field. And the 2-0 from Grayson. So line shot to left field. Just over the left fielder side. That's going to the fence. That's going to score William. And Justice goes into second base with a stand-up RBI double. And the Wild Things are on the board here in the bottom of the first. That brings in Bradley. Xander on deck. And a pitch from Grayson. Foul ball. And it's 0-1. So no balls, one strike. That's Justice at second base. Still nobody out. But again, thank you for joining us on the broadcast. Really appreciate your tuning in. Foul ball, strike two. And it's 0-2. So no balls, two strikes to Bradley. Again, Xander on deck. If you would, it didn't cost you anything. If you would, please like, share, subscribe. That helps us gain sponsors and advertisers to enhance the experience for you, the fans. This is the Border Battle 10U coverage today and tomorrow. Tomorrow's bracket play. There'll be 3 games. The first game slated to start at 9. Pop foul right behind us, and we'll do 0-2 again. Supposed to start at 9, and then the championship slated to start at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. And we'll be bringing all the games here all the way through the last games today, which will be 4 games. The next game coming up at 10:45, and then 12:30 and 2:15. Swing and a miss, and that is one away as Justice goes into third safely. So one down, that brings in Bradley. One down, that brings in Xander. With Samuel on deck. Grayson gets a sign. He sets and delivers. Swing and a miss. Strike one. So no balls, one strike, one out. That is Justice at third. Oh, excuse me, what am I saying? Yes, I'm right. Justice there. There's a fly ball. Shallow left field. Nice job by the shortstop. That is Brody over there. And that's two down. So that brings in Samuel. And leaves Justice at third. Samuel steps in. Jakiri on deck. So Grayson checks the signs, comes set, and delivers. There's a line shot in the left field. That ball is over the left fielder. Said that's going to the fence. That's going to score one. And Samuel's motoring into second base with a stand-up RBI double. And the Wild Things have cut the lead down to 3 runs, 5-2. So 2 RBI doubles in this one has put the Wild Things on the board. It's ball 1 to Jakiri. On deck is Parker. So 2 down, 2 runs in. Samuel at second. There's a pop fly on shallow infield. Nice try. It's actually a fair ball. A nice try by the first baseman. Could not get to it. That puts Samuel on third. Jakiri's on with an infield single. And puts runners on the corners for the Wild Things with 2 outs. That brings in Parker, Caleb on deck. And the pitch. There's a line shot in the left field. That's getting down for a hit. That's going to the fence. That's going to score 2. And the Wild Things have cut the lead 5-4. Well, a 2 RBI single by Parker. So that brings in Caleb. On deck is Liam. And all of a sudden it's 5-4. There's a pop fly, shallow left field. That's going to get down for a hit. Parker's going into second base. And he's safe. Now runners on first and second. So 4 back-to-back hits, a double and 3 singles for the Wild Things, and they're within 1 run of tying this one up. There's a ball high to Liam. Crosby is on deck. It's a 1-0 count. 5 ball, 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, 2 on, 4 runs in for the Wild Things. On some solid hitting into left field. Has really brought this one back to an even game. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. 4 runs across. And the pitch. And evens the count at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Bottom of the first inning. And the 2-2 pitch. Ball 3. And that gets away from Reagan, but he quickly recovers and everybody remains where they are. It's a little bit of equipment malfunction for Reagan. Coach is taking care of it very quickly. Again, thanks for joining us here on the broadcast, the USSSA Sports Network. I'm Doc. I'll be your commentator all throughout today and tomorrow for all the live coverage of the very best of 10U baseball here in Marianna, Florida at this Border Battle tournament.
Grab that other helmet. Hey, there's one in my bag. We'll find it before you get one.
All right, so we're making a quick adjustment here to his helmet. Is Reagan. And looks like we're good to go. And here's the 3-2 pitch from Grayson. Ground ball right back to Grayson. Fielded cleanly over to first, and that ends the inning. But not before the Wild Things pick up 4 runs on 5 hits. No errors, and 2 left on base. At the end of 1 inning, it's a 5-4 ball game. Coming up for the Canes is going to be Bo Cooper. And then back to the top of the order with Zion. This is Doc of the USSSA Sports Network. We'll be right back. All right, folks, we're back. As Bo steps in the batter's box, Cooper on deck. Liam still on the mound. Samuel still behind the plate. As we get things underway here in the top of the 2nd inning. And here's the first pitch. Called strike. And it is 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike. Just getting underway here in the top of the 2nd inning. In a 5-4 ball game. What a wild first inning that was. The line shot down the line, foul. And it's 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes. Again, I want to thank you for joining us here on the broadcast, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. Ball way outside, and it's 1-2. We have other social media as well. We have a TikTok page. We're also on Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter. So make sure you check us out on all the social media sites. And that ball evens the count at 2-2. Next weekend, we'll be broadcasting live in beautiful Pinellas County, Florida, down around St. Petersburg and Tampa, Clearwater area. And the count is full. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. And a 3-2 pitch. And it's ball 4. So Bo's on with a leadoff walk here in the top of the second as he hustles down to first. That brings in Cooper. On deck is Zion. Check over to Bo, and he's back in time. Also, make sure you check out all of our other videos. Make sure you like those. There's a ball outside. Bo goes down to second base easily. There's a ground ball to short. Fielded cleanly. Over to first. Not in time. And infield single for Cooper as Bo moves to third. So then he continues. That brings in Zion. Still nobody out. And here is the first pitch from Liam. Ball off the plate. That's 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes. That is Bo at third, Cooper at second. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball inside. And it's 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch. That gets away, and here comes Bo, and he is safe. And that makes it a 6-4 ball game in favor of the Canes. That moves Cooper over to third. And that is ball 3 to Zion. That got away just enough to allow Bo to come home and score. Foul ball, and the count's full. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Cooper at third. Bo just scored. Make it a 6-4 ball game. Ball up, and runners on the corners. So a walk issued to Zion brings in Jace. Jace walked and scored his last time up in the first inning. On deck is Reagan. And there goes Zion. Ball high, and Zion needs to take second. There's a throw down to third, and that's going to allow Cooper to score. That brings Zion all the way around, and Zion holds at third. And it makes it 7-4. So ball 1 to Jace. Reagan on deck. Zion at third. And the pitch. Ball 2. So 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Still nobody out. We are in the top of the second. Pop foul behind us, and it's 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike. And here's the 2-1. So ground ball to short. Fielded cleanly. Over to first. And that is one away. But Canes pick up another run. And it's 8-4. So one down. That brings in Reagan. Reagan singled and scored his last time up. And on deck is Brody. Ball in the dirt. Nobody on, nobody going anywhere. That's 1-0 count. So 1 ball, no strikes. Ball high. 2-0. There's a ground ball to third. Fielded cleanly over to first. Wide throw. And Reagan slips, but he safely goes into second base. So we're going to have to charge an error to the third baseman on that one. So still 1 down. Brody steps in. He singled, drove in 2 RBIs, and scored his last time up. Mason on deck. Jace is going in to run for Reagan, as Reagan is the catcher of record, and Jace was the last batted out. Check him at second. He's back in time. Liam looks in, gets a sign, sets, and delivers. Ball just off the plate. And that allows Jace to go to third. And it's a 1-0 count. So 1-0 to Brody. And the 1-0 pitch. Fly ball deep left field. That ball, if that was fair, that would have been gone. And instead, it's a 1-1 count. So 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, 1 on. 3 runs in so far. Called strike. And it's 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Brody. Again, Reagan at third. Actually, Jace running for Reagan at third. And it's 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch. Count is full. So 3 balls, 2 strikes to Brody, who fell behind 1 and 2 and has fought back to a full count. And here's the payoff pitch from Liam. Foul ball. And we'll do 3 and 2 again. It's a quick timeout. Another helmet malfunction. Still 1 down in this one. Full count. 3 runs are scored. Bo, Cooper, and Zion have all 3 scored. And the pitch. It's a pop fly, shallow left, third baseman back. Nice catch. Nice catch by Justice over there. That leaves Jace at third still. 2 down. That brings in Mason. Grayson on deck. Here's the pitch. Ball off the plate. 1-0. 1-0 pitch. Ground ball. That's going to get through for a base in the left field. That's going to score, Jace. And the Canes are up now, again, by 5, 9-4. So that brings in Grayson. Grayson walked and scored his first time up with Bryson on deck. 2 down. And the pitch. Pop fly on the infield. That's going to drop in. Throw over to first. Not in time. And Grayson's on with an infield single. So it's like Brody going in to run for Grayson, since Grayson is the pitcher. That brings in Bryson. Bryson walked his first time up. Miles on deck. And the pitch. Push, strike. That ball goes down into left field. And that's going to allow Mason to score. So Mason scores. Brody moves to third. Makes it 10-4. I believe it's ball 1 to Bryson. Miles on deck. Swing and a miss. 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Another 5 runs across this inning on 2 hits, so 3 hits so far. And it's 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 outs. Grayson or Brody at third. Ball 3. 3-1. And the pitch. And that is ball 4. Oh, ball 3. Sorry about that. Must be full count. So I missed a strike in there. My apologies. I think that first one was a strike that I missed. And here's the payoff pitch. Ball 4. And now runners on the corners with 2 outs. So runners at first and third. That brings in Miles. My guess is that Bryson will be going on this pitch. And as expected, there he goes. There's a bunt. First base side, fielded cleanly by Liam, over to first. And they get him. All right, so the Canes pick up 5 on 3 hits and 1 error and leave 1 on base, and at the end of 2, or 1.5, excuse me, it is 10-5. Coming up for the Wild Things is going to be Crosby, then William, then Justice. This is Doc, the USSSA Sports Network. We'll be back. All right, folks, we're back to live action. Here in the bottom of the second inning, Crosby steps in, takes ball one, and the bottom of the second's underway. I think I said 10-5 a minute ago. Apologies, it's 10-4. So 1-0 count to Crosby. On deck is William. Ball inside, 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 to Crosby. And the pitch. Ball low. 3-1. So 3 balls, 1 strike. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. So full count to Crosby. Let's lead things off here in the top of the second inning. Or excuse me, bottom of the second inning. And the pitch. And it's ball 4. So leadoff walk issued to Crosby by Grayson. That brings in William. On deck is Justice. Grayson checks Crosby at first. Still there. And there you go. Oh, he held up. Ball high. Looked like he was going to go there for a second. It's a 1-0 count. And the 1-0 pitch. There he goes. Line side to left field. That's getting down for a hit. That's going to the fence. Crosby rounding third. He's headed for home. And he is safe in his 10-5 ball game. After a RBI stand-up double by William. What a shot down the line. That brings in Justice with Bradley on deck. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. Ground ball to foul. It's 0-1 to Justice. Justice doubled an RBI and scored his first time up. William is 2 for 2, a single and a double. Scored 1 time. And here's the 0-1. Foul ball. And it's 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Bottom of the second inning. And here's the 0-2 pitch. And Grayson checks William at second. And the pitch. Foul ball. And we'll do 0-2 again. So no balls, 2 strikes.
You got this. Let's go.
And the 0-2 pitch. Called strike 3. And that is 1 away. So 1 down. That brings in Bradley. Xander on deck. And the pitch. That gets away from Reagan as he's getting ready to be prepared to throw to third because William was going, and Williams safely into third base. So it's a 1-0 count to Bradley. And the pitch. Ball high. So 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. And the pitch. Foul tip in the glove. That's 2-1. It's pop fly on the infield, caught by the shortstop, and that is 2 outs. So 2 down. That brings in Xander. On deck is Samuel. Again, the reason why we go mute between innings is to avoid any copyright strikes for music on Facebook or YouTube. Will affect the stream afterwards. Pops straight up in the air. Under it is Reagan. And couldn't quite make the catch. That's a fair ball. And it's going to score another run. As Xander is on with an infield single, an RBI single. As that scores William. And makes the game 10-6. That brings in Samuel. On deck is Jakiri. And here's the first pitch. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second base, not in time, as Xander takes second.
Hey, what are we fussing about? You threw it on the wrong side of the bag. Let's go. Come on, let's go.
And the 0-1. Ball in the dirt, that gets away. Xander moves to third, and it's 1-1. And the pitch. Ground ball to second. Fielded cleanly, over to first. And that is 3 down. However, the Wild Things pick up 2 on 2 hits. No errors and 1 left at the end of 2 innings. It's a 10-6 game. Coming up for the Canes is going to be Zane, Bo, and Cooper. This is Doc of the USSSA Sports Network. We'll be right back. All right, everyone, we're back. Let's see. Now catching for Wild Things is going to be Justice. Liam is still on the mound. Stepping in is going to be Zane as we get things underway here in the top of the third. The first pitch called strike, and it's 0-1. So no balls, one strike. Still 10-6 game. Pop fly. Left field. Left fielder's under it. Makes the catch. And that's one down. So one out. That brings in Bo. Cooper on deck. And the pitch. Called strike. And it's 0-1. So no balls, one strike to Bo. And the pitch. Ball inside. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Strike two. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Ball high, and it's 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the third. Here in the Border Battle Tournament, Mariana, Florida. Oops. Full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the payoff pitch from Liam. Called strike 3, and that is 2 down. All right, that brings in Cooper. On deck, back to the top of the order is Zion. Ball comes in a little high, so 1-0. Foul tip. And it's 1-1. This morning it was about 45 degrees here in Mariana. And looks like we're going to have a pitching change. So we'll let you know who that is in just a minute.
Hey, go see Coach Owen, Cooper. Go see Coach Owen.
Let's see who that is coming in. That's going to be Parker going on the mound for the Wild Things. And with that, we'll take a quick break while Parker warms up. This is Doc of the USSSA Sports Network. All right, folks, we're back. Again, Parker's now on the mound. Cooper steps in, swing and a miss. Strike one. We are in the top of the third inning. Canes lead at 10-6. Called strike two. So no balls, two strike, or that's strike three. Sorry, that was a 1-2 count that they switched pitchers, so I thought it wasn't. My bad, folks. But that ends inning. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the Wild Things, and that's the first 1-2-3 inning for either team. So no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. At the end of 2.5, it's the Canes 10, Wild Things 6. Coming up for the Wild Things is Jakairi, Parker, and Caleb. This is Dr. U, SSA Sports Network. We'll be back. All right, we are back. Ready to get things underway here in the bottom of the third inning. As the Wild Things step in, leading off is going to be a Jakairi. Grayson's still on the mound. Reagan's still behind the plate for the Canes.
Miles, be ready.
Grayson delivers. Inside, ball one. So it's a 1-0 count to Jakairi. Wild Things do trail by 4, 10-6.
Miles, back up.
And the pitch. Ball in the dirt. 2-0. Ball 3. So 3 balls, no strikes. And the pitch. Ball in the dirt. And it's a 4-pitch walk, leadoff walk to Jakairi here in the bottom of the third. That brings in Parker. Parker singled in 2 RBIs his first time up. And on deck is Caleb. And there goes Jakairi on to second base, catching everybody off guard before the first pitch is even thrown to Parker.
Oh, you work it. Brody back. Brody back.
And the pitch. There's a fly ball. Center field. Just off the center fielder's glove. And Jakairi is going into third base with Parker on. And we'll charge an error to the center fielder on that one. So it brings in Caleb. On deck is Liam. It's a quick timeout here. Not sure what's happening. All right, so quick conference over here off camera with the coaches for Grayson. That's going to bring in, like I said, Caleb. Runners on the corners. Samuel's running for Parker. Ball one. There goes Samuel. Foul ball. That just about took the coach's head off. That was a shot. And it's 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Jakiri on third. Samuel running for Parker on first. And everyone's safe. So no runners on second and third for the Wild Things. The tying run is on deck and is represented by Liam. And the pitch. It's in the dirt, and that's going to score Jakiri. And move Samuel to third. And it's a 10-7 ball game. So it's a 2-1 count to Caleb. So Caleb steps back in the batter's box. 2-1 count. And a 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Wild Things have put 1 across so far this inning, threatening another. And the pitch. Ground ball down the third base line. That's a fair ball. That's going to score 1. And what a shot. I mean, that was right on the line, all the way down. So an RBI double scores Samuel. That makes it a 10-8 ball game. Still nobody out. As Liam steps in, he does represent the tying run. Crosby on deck. Foul ball right here in front of us. That's a 0-1 count. So no balls, 1 strike. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. So no balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Caleb at second. 2 runs across. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And that is 1 away. That brings in Crosby. Crosby walked and scored his first time up. Williams on deck. Ball just a little bit inside. It's 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes. Ball 2 to Crosby. So 2-0 count. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out, 1 on. Wild Things trail by 2 here in the bottom of the third. And that is 3-0. Ball 4. And our runners on first and second. So another walk issued to Crosby as that brings in William. William is 2 for 2, a single and a double, and scored twice. He has 2 runners on in front of him right now with 1 down. And the pitch. Ball, that gets away from Reagan. And it's going to allow the runners to move up to second and third. So 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, a 10-8 ball game. And I'm not sure if we're having a pitching change or not. I think we have to. I think it has to because it would be the second visit. Well, we'll see. We'll see what the umpires call here. I could be wrong. Maybe there was not a second visit.
Hey, what number is Reagan?
All right, so there's going to be a new pitcher. Let's see who that is. So making some defensive moves. So for the Canes, it looks like it's going to be Mason going in to catch for Reagan. Grayson is done for the day on the mound. And I think, we'll double check here and see. I'm not going to speculate, but I think it might be Reagan on the mound. So Reagan will move from pitcher to from catcher to pitcher. And we'll get all this sorted out here for you folks. All right, so that indeed is the case. And so with that, let's give Reagan a few minutes to warm up. This is Doc with USSSA Sports Network. We'll be back. All right, folks, here we go. We're back to live action.
Hey, Grayson, you're at third. Grayson, you're on third.
So William has a 1-0 count on him. That is Caleb at second. Or excuse me. Yes, Caleb at second. Crosby at third. Or I'm sorry, Caleb at third. Crosby at second. My bad. Wow, can't even get it straight. It's a 2-0 count to William. There is one down. Called strike. And it's 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike. And the pitch. Right at me here. But Caleb holds at third. Nice hustle by Reagan. And it's 3-1. So 3 balls, 1 strike. If Reagan would lose William here, that would load the bases for Justice. There's a ground ball to short. Fielded cleanly over to first. And that is 2 outs. So that does score Caleb, makes it a 10-9 ball game. And clears the bases except for Crosby at third. So 3 runs in this inning so far. Tying run is at third base. That brings in Justice. Ground ball back up the middle. That's almost fielded by Reagan. Here's the throw to first. That gets away. That's going to score the tying run. Justice will go to second base. And he'll hold there. All right, so that was a crazy order of events. It's called strike to Bradley.
Who's my last out? Williams? Wills, can I sub for my catch? Yep. Come on, catch.
So Justice will be coming off as William be going into pinch run for him. Bradley is at the plate. On deck is Xander. Tie ball game, 10-10. Wild Things have scrapped their way back. Throw to second. No one there. Over to third. And Williams safe. Still no pitch yet to Bradley.
That's his warning. No, yes, days. That's his warning.
All right, here we go. Ball inside. It's a 1-0 count. 1 ball, no strikes to Bradley. Again, Xander on deck. Tie ball game. Foul ball. And it's 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. 2 strikes. My apologies. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the 1-2 pitch. And evens the count at 2 apiece. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 10-10 game. Go ahead, run at third. And the pitch. That hit him. So I put runners on the corners. That brings in Xander. Xander is 1 for 2. He also, his last time up, singled and drove an RBI. All right. All right, so Xander steps in. There goes Bradley, and he's safe at second. Throw comes in. Safely home, and the Wild Things have now taken the lead, 11-10. So for the first time today, the Wild Things have the lead. I think it's a full count. We'll see. Bradley's now on third base. It might be. Swing and a miss. Maybe it's 1-1 and I miscounted, folks. My apologies if that's the case. So Wild Things now take the lead 11-10. Ground ball to short. Just in the shortstop's glove. That's going to left field. Another run scoring. And now all of a sudden it's 12-10 in favor of the Wild Things. That brings in Samuel. Jakiri on deck. Jakiri led the inning off. Oh, 2 down. That ball gets away. That gets going into right field. And Xander will go to second base. So Reagan checked Xander at first and got away from the first baseman. And the pitch. Called strike. And so 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike. 2 outs. It's a ground ball to second. Fielded cleanly. Over to first. And that is 3 outs. However, they do pick up 6 runs on 2 hits, 3 errors, and 1 left at the end of 3 innings. It's Wathings 12, Canes 10. Coming up in the top of the 4th is going to be back to the top of the order, Zion, Jace, and Reagan. This is Doc, New Triple S Sports Network. We'll be back. Okay, we're moving to the top of the 4th. And Parker's still on the mound. There's ball 1 to Zion. And we're underway. It's a ball in the dirt. And it's 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes. And here's the 2-0 pitch from Parker. And it's 2-1.
Be in net, be in net. Nothing by you, baby, nothing by you. Back up a little bit.
It's ground ball to first. Fielded by Samuel. Touches first. And that is 1 out. So 1 down. That brings in Jace. On deck is Reagan. And here's pitch Jace. Called strike. That's 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike. There's a fly ball to center field. That center fielder's coming in. Makes a catch. And that is 2 down. So far, Parker has retired all 5 batters he's faced. Actually, all 6 batters he's faced. As he came in at the end of the other inning. Pop foul out of play. And so in 1. So no balls, 1 strike. And here's the 0-1. There's a line shot in the center field. That's going to get down for a hit. That's going all the way to the fence. Reagan is headed to second, and he'll go into second with a stand-up double. So 2 down. That'll bring in Brody. Brody singled and drove in 2 RBIs his first time up today. That's the first issue allowed by Parker. All inside. 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs. And the pitch. So line shot in left field. That is, just over the left fielder's glove. And that goes over the fence. It's a ground rule double. So that's going to score Reagan. Well, Jace, who was running for him. And it makes it a 12-11 game. And it's an RBI double, ground rule double for Brody. That brings in Mason. On deck is Grayson. Ball high. Brody easily takes third. Tying run is at third. 2 outs. And the pitch. Ground ball to second. Filled it cleanly. Over to first. And that is 3 down. And so that's a ball game, folks. All right, so that's it. Wild Things will take this one in a crazy 12-11 victory. This is Doc, the USSSA Sports Network. Coming up next is going to be the Canes and Yard Goats. So stay tuned to that, and we'll be back shortly. This is Doc, the USSSA Sports Network.